Every morning I woke before the sun, putting on this uniform that felt more like a costume. But today felt different. The air was heavy with change. Mrs. Harrington always insisted I use the special polish for her precious silver. "Don't scratch it, Ella," she'd say, as if I didn't know my job. And there she was, watching me like a hawk. Her eyes narrowed as she inspected every piece. I held my breath, waiting for the criticism. "This is completely unacceptable," she snapped, throwing the spoon down. "Do it again and properly this time." My cheeks burned with humiliation. Alone in the kitchen, the tears finally came. 12 years of service, and still treated like I didn't know how to polish silver. But something had to change. That afternoon, while cleaning Mr. Harrington's study, I noticed something unusual. The wall safe was slightly ajar. I'd never seen it open before. That evening at dinner, I watched them differently. They laughed and enjoyed their expensive meal, completely unaware I knew their dirty secret. "This roast is overcooked, Ella," Mrs. Harrington complained. I simply nodded, keeping my face neutral. Soon they would learn what real problems looked like. That night I made a plan. I wrote down everything I remembered from those documents: dates, amounts, their signatures, evidence of their theft. I found a loose floorboard where I could hide my notes. They thought I was just their maid, but I was becoming their worst nightmare. The next day I risked using their phone while they were out. I called my cousin who worked at a law firm. "Maria, I need help," I whispered. We met in the park near their mansion. I handed Maria my notes. Her eyes widened as she read. "Ella, this is illegal. They've stolen thousands from you." Maria explained we needed more evidence. "We have to get those original documents," she said. "But how?" The safe was rarely open and always locked. Back in the study, I cleaned while watching that safe. Days passed without it opening. I started to worry they'd moved the documents elsewhere. Then one afternoon, I heard the familiar clicks. Mr. Harrington was opening the safe. I hid in the hallway, watching through the cracked door. He took out a folder, the same one I'd seen. Then his phone rang and he walked away, leaving the safe open. This was my chance. I slipped into the study, my heart pounding. I could hear Mr. Harrington still talking on the phone down the hall. The safe stood open, waiting. I pulled out my phone and started photographing every page. My hands shook so badly I worried the pictures would blur. But I had to get evidence. Footsteps coming back, I hadn't finished. I dropped my phone, scrambling to put everything back. If he caught me now, it would all be over. I dove behind the heavy curtains just as the door opened. I held my breath, praying he wouldn't see me. My phone lay on the floor near the safe. He closed the safe, then paused. He'd seen my phone. He picked it up, examining it curiously. I thought my heart would beat right out of my chest. To my relief, he just placed the phone on his desk and left the room. He probably thought it was his wife's. I had survived the close call. I snatched my phone and checked the photos. They were perfect, clear shots of every damning document. I had them. The evidence was finally mine. I immediately sent the photos to Maria. "Got them," I texted. Now we had everything we needed. The wheels of justice were finally turning. Maria called immediately. "Ella, this is perfect. My boss says we have a solid case. We're filing papers tomorrow. Are you ready for this?" I took a deep breath. "I've been ready for 12 years, I said. No more humiliation, no more stolen wages. It was time they learned their lesson. The next morning, Maria's firm filed the lawsuit. The Harringtons were officially served at their breakfast table. I wish I could have seen their faces. Mrs. Harrington's teacup rattled as she read the papers. Mr. Harrington turned pale. They couldn't believe their quiet little maid had fought back. They stormed into the kitchen, papers in hand. "How dare you?" Mrs. Harrington screamed, but I stood tall. "How dare you steal from me for 12 years? Mr. Harrington threatened to fire me. I smiled. "You can't fire me, I quit, but you'll still be seeing me in court." Their shocked silence was priceless. I packed my few belongings while they watched, speechless. For the first time, I walked out of that mansion with my head held high, not looking back. The court date arrived. I wore my best dress, not their uniform. With Maria and her lawyer boss beside me, I walked into that courtroom like I owned it. The Harringtons looked smaller somehow in the courtroom seats. Their expensive lawyer kept adjusting his tie nervously. They knew they were caught. When I testified, I told my story clearly. 12 years of service, the humiliation, the stolen wages. The judge listened intently, occasionally nodding. When Maria's boss presented the photographs, the Harringtons squirmed. Their own documents, their own signatures, undeniable proof of their theft over the years. The judge's face grew stern as he looked at the Harringtons. "This is one of the most clear-cut cases of wage theft I've seen in my career," he said. They tried to claim it was accounting errors and misunderstandings, but the judge wasn't having it. "These are signed documents, not errors," he stated firmly. The judgment came quickly. "I find in favor of the plaintiff," the judge announced. "The defendants will pay back wages, damages, and legal fees." The gavel fell. Tears of relief and joy streamed down my face. After 12 years of humiliation, I had won. Justice had finally been served. The Harringtons slunk out of the courtroom, avoiding everyone's eyes. Their reputation was ruined, their wealth diminished. They had been truly humbled. Weeks later, I held the settlement check. More money than I'd ever seen. Enough to start my own cleaning business, to be my own boss. I opened Ella's Ethical Cleaning with pride. No uniforms, fair wages, respect for every worker. Everything the Harringtons never gave me. I hired women who needed second chances, teaching them with patience I never received. We built a business based on dignity, not humiliation. The business flourished. Clients appreciated our ethical approach and excellent service. We became known as the cleaning company that treated workers right. One day, I drove past the Harrington mansion. A for sale sign stood in the yard. The settlement had forced them to downsize. I felt quiet satisfaction. Sitting in my own office, I reflected on the journey, from humiliated maid to respected business owner. I had turned their injustice into my strength. I now mentor young women entering the workforce. Never let anyone make you feel less than, I tell them. Your dignity is worth fighting for. The community recognized our ethical business practices with an award. I stood on that stage, thinking how far I'd come from polishing their silver. I started speaking at women's groups, sharing my story. If you're being treated unfairly, speak up. Your voice matters. Justice is possible. I now help other domestic workers with legal advice, connecting them with lawyers who work pro bono. No one should suffer what I endured. Today, I own my home, my business, and most importantly, my dignity. The humiliation ended when I found the courage to fight back. If you're watching this and facing injustice, know this: you are worthy of respect. You deserve fair treatment. Your hidden strength is there, find it. No matter your job, your background, or your circumstances, you have power. The power to demand respect, to seek justice, to change your story. My story shows that from injustice can come strength, from humiliation can come dignity, and from being voiceless can come powerful change. Remember, those who try to keep you down often give you the very tools you need to rise above them. Your struggle can become your strength. If this story inspired you, remember to subscribe for more tales of hidden strength, because everyone has a story, and every story deserves to be heard.